boy, yesterday afternoon we got a really good storm. There were some notices that went out we were going to get a thunderstorm, and all of a sudden the wind started whipping up, and they had predicted hail, which is what was scaring me. So I kind of stood at the window looking out while it went on, and luckily we didn't get hail, but we did get one heck of a storm with like 60-mile-an-hour winds and stuff like that. I think it went from about 88 degrees outside till like down in the 70s right after it went through. So it was a big change of weather coming, but I thought I'd make a quick video about it and trying to show you the damage that we got and cleaning it up today. Darn it, I was just gonna say we survived that one without any damage, but I guess not. Looks like we lost that nice little tree we just had berries on it. Oh, here we are outside and look around a little bit, and you can see this tree actually had some bug damage and stuff to it, so you know it was gonna go eventually. Just kind of been hanging in there, and it's got some pretty flowers on it, or actually little orange berries on it in the fall, but that'll be a job for the trencher, looks like. Get that sucker apart. So here we are down at the garden, and a couple of the sunflowers there got all folded over and snapped off. They were doing really good too. Some of them are just laying sideways, so hopefully I can save them, but everything else up here looks good. Let's go look around down in the beds there. Stuff here doesn't look too bad. The corn, well, the corn's on about a 30-degree angle there, but I'll straighten that up. Surprised the eggplants still have leaves left on them. They're a little bit tilted over now. But I didn't have them tied up real good anyway, so some of the squash, they don't look too good right now, but a lot of leaves broken and bent over and stuff like that. Same with the zucchinis there. Tomatoes seem to survive. And the peas took a pretty good beating in the wind there, but luckily we didn't get the hail that they called for. That would have made some heck of a mess. So let's go see what rain we got. Well, this is pretty amazing here. It looks like we got just a hair under 1 inch of rain in about a half an hour. So that really pretty much is a record for us. I'm gonna have to do something with those peas tomorrow. They're still heavy with peas, but all the bees survived though. The only way to make things survive around here in the wind is to make them yourself. I'm gonna try out this little DeWalt chainsaw I got last year on clearance. See what it does. Wow, that works really good. Wow, pretty amazing. Let's see if we can get this done. Well, that made easy work of it. So I pulled the trencher out, and I thought it would just take about 30 seconds to pull this stump out, but this one I had to work out a little bit. Had a little better roots than all the other ones I've dealt with so far. So I did play with it for probably about 9 minutes it took to get it out, and originally I left it hooked to the tractor because I thought it would pop right out, and I just drag it and put it away and it's done. But I did have to play with it, but that finger on the trencher really does do a good job at getting trees out. It saves making the big mess and piles of dirt and stuff like you do when you try to do it with the bucket. So that was that's been a real handy thing, and just kind of sped this up here to show you. It did take about 9 minutes in reality, but it got it out and cleaned the mess up without too much of a mess. And you can see I'm out there in a sweatshirt today. It's cold out. It's about 60 degrees, and we got a wind chill out here today. Pretty amazing after like a really hot, sweaty day yesterday. You could barely stand the humidity. Really crazy weather we've been having. Well, made somewhat of a mess, but not as much of a mess as the bucket would have made. Thing had bigger roots than I thought I was gonna. Oh well, it's out. Let's clean it up. Okay, here goes the first load. Get cleaned up. And I just kind of had to use the tractor to kind of compress that back down in the hole somewhat, and drag back the lumps of sod and stuff and squish them down in there. It's going to take a couple days for it to settle, and maybe another good rainstorm before I can do the final leveling. But really, wasn't that bad after all. Just picking up the last of the branches here, and this little chainsaw actually, it kind of feels like a toy when you're holding it, but it did do a good job for all these little things. I'd say it's probably good for up to maybe about 6-8 inches, and anything over that may give it some trouble. But it's really good for cleaning up brush and stuff like this. It was a good deal, I guess, that I got on it. And a couple minutes later, there it is, all filled in. So it didn't turn out to be too big a job in the end. But one thing I did notice with that little chainsaw is everywhere I set it down, it had like puddles of oil under it. Seems as if the bar oil constantly leaks out of it. I just had cleaned up some there and anywhere I put it. So I'm not sure how good this thing actually is going to be at holding oil in there. It seems like it's got a problem with leakage on it already, and it's brand spanking new. Starting to wonder about DeWalt tools. When you own a home, you never know what your next task is going to be. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.